one more practice tomorrow for camp, but just did you get some scrimmage work done today, or was that part of the agenda at all?
We did. We had a great day. We're not going to meet tonight. We're going to eat and let them get off their feet, and they knew that, so that kind of lifted their spirits a little bit. We have put in some, they have put in some long hours the last 2 weeks and some change, so they were excited, and we had a lot of energy out on the field today. We went out and practiced hard. It was physical across the line of scrimmage. You could hear the crunching. It was crisp, and it was a good sound. We only had one pre-snap penalty on offense today, and that's good. The last two practices, we have minimized our errors significantly, particularly our pre-snap errors. And that's an important key for us this season. We went out and did some coming out scrum work where we had the ball on the -3 yard line and trying to get 2 first downs on offense or stop that on defense, and that was good work for us. We had some pass scrimmage, if you will, and we've got the ones versus the twos. They gave our one line an opportunity to protect against our 2 defensive line, and let our quarterback set his feet in the pocket some, and we did a good job with that. We got good special teams work today. I did a little bit of scrimmaging, ones versus twos, and it gave the ones a chance to tackle the twos from a defensive standpoint, and I thought that went real good. I thought they were running around fast and seemed sure. Right now we have 13 practices left before our opening game, and we want to do it right 13 times, not practice 13 times to get it right. And that's kind of our creed going into the practice tomorrow and then beginning next Tuesday. So I like where we're at. We're not where we need to be yet, but I like where we're at. We're getting a lot better every time we come out to practice, and the team seems real driven, so I'm really encouraged by it.
KK talked about being more consistent throughout this offseason. Have you noticed kind of an everyday effort out of him being more consistent and developing that consistency?
Our whole defensive front is much more consistent from an effort standpoint now than we have been. He has pushed himself and gotten himself in better shape. He has spent a lot of time in camp pushing himself, running to the ball, and practicing himself into game shape. And being in shape allows him to be more consistent, so he's much more consistent than he has been at any point in time in his career here at Purdue. But I see that from our whole defensive line. They're doing a good job running to the ball. The guys that stand out the most to me that have made the most progress would be Kawan Short and Bruce Gaston, 2 300-something pounders that are working hard and running to the football. They're in much better shape, and both of those guys at times can dominate the line of scrimmage, and they have at times throughout the practices. So I like where Kawan and Bruce and all the D-line is at. We're much further ahead.
Is that a matter of them pushing each other?
Well, it's a matter of them pushing themselves and the coaches pushing them, but it has to be done. You're 300-something pounds. You have to run to the ball in practice, so there's no way you can in a game. And Kawan has done a great job of improving that phase of his practice habits, and Bruce has made great strides. He's really standing out there at times in practice.
How has Bruce made strides?
Well, just straining. Last year he was injured some. He didn't pushed himself hard enough in practice early in camp. He was injured, and that slowed him down some. I see him straining a lot more. He's a lot more reckless, a lot more sure. He's in the best shape he's been in since he has been here at Purdue. He runs to the football. He probably pursued the football for 20 yards yesterday, made a tackle on the goal line, from 20 yards away. And I didn't see that from him in the past. So I think he's really pushing himself, and he's got himself in great shape, and that allows him to go wide open on a more consistent basis. And Bruce and KK and all those good D linemen, they play wide open, and then they can dominate. So he's done very well. He's much quicker with his hands. He's much more sure with his pass rush techniques, the plan that he has, pre-snap and post-snap, and he's in much better shape. So he's come a long ways. He's way better than he has been, and he was coming on strong last year, and he's really coming on strong now.
You just walked by, so I'm thinking about him. Aloysius Gray, you said on signing day you wanted to see him throw. How is he done through training camp, and how is, I guess...
He's done okay. He's a developmental quarterback, obviously, and he has the skill sets to play other positions. We recruited him out of high school as a wide receiver, and he committed to us as a junior, and had never seen him throw a pass. And then he wanted a chance to play quarterback, so I never saw him throw a pass until he came out here to practice when camp started, and he's done okay with it. Hasn't had a whole lot of reps, with the team stuff, but had a chance to watch him some of Skelly and some of the drills, and he still has a lot of work to do. But he's still getting his reps here now, but we'll see what the future holds.
Staying a quarterback for the time being?
Today, yeah.
Yesterday when some of the players were introduced. Saw where Curry was introduced with the running backs and Aristide with the running back. Is that a couple switches that you made in camp?
We moved Ishmael over there right before he got hurt. We're a little bit thin at that position. I like our backs, but we need more of them. And recruiting the running back position this year will be key for this class. We moved Ishmael over there because when we sat down as a staff and looked at some of his, or considered some of his numbers from his training this summer, he's one of the biggest and strongest and fastest, but still buried some on the depth chart. So we thought we'd try him at running back and see how he did, and he got hurt right away. So don't know a whole lot about him at the running back position. And then we knew when we recruited Curry that he was kind of that hybrid tight end, H-back, U-back, potential fullback type of personnel. We really need a fullback in our offense right now. And I like the way he hit in high school. He was a very physical player in high school, and he's still a very physical player and a very reliable player. So we're looking at him at fullback, and I like what I see there. And I think he has a future there.
Just with Ishmael, how's he doing? Did he have some knee surgery and just kind of?
They had to go in there and clean it up. They had to go in there and clean Ish's knee up a little bit, and it wasn't any type of major reconstructive surgery. Some arthroscopic cleanup surgery, but it'll be several weeks before he's able to come back. Obviously he had a very bad knee injury in high school, and that has limited him some in his development. And he hasn't been on the field a whole lot for us, and he's not able to compete now. So 6 or 7 weeks from now, we'll see where it's at, and maybe he can still help us sometime this year. We had an injury 2 days ago to Tommy Thomas. He's got a foot injury, and he could be out for a while. So the next couple of days, today and tomorrow, it was really important for us to get a lot of reps to the young receivers on our football team to get a feel for guys like Danny Anthrop and Cameron Posey and B.J. Knopf. And B.J. didn't get a whole lot today, but I really like what I'm seeing from Cameron Posey. He's very sure-handed. You can count on him to make the play. He's smart, has a real knack for getting open, and Danny has done fantastic. He really has. He really catches the ball well. He's fearless and really hard-working, so I anticipate those guys having the potential to play early and often throughout the course of the season if they continue to improve.
Does Thomas's injury require any kind of surgery?
I'm not sure if it'll require surgery or not. It's a foot injury, and they'll let me know for sure, what the prognosis will be, as far as the surgery or not. But it looks like he's going to be out for several weeks. I believe that'll happen whether they have surgery or not. So we have some guys that work in there, and they stepped up and did very well today. Today was a good day for our football team. It's the end of camp, and they came out with a lot of energy and a lot of spirit today. And that was a lot of fun. We had a great day, beautiful weather, and guys were getting after it, and we tackled some and hit and had fun, and we got better.
Tommy's the guy on the outside who maybe does some blocking for you at that receiver position. Who's maybe one of the better blockers that you've seen this camp out of that position?
I think they've all improved, and we did some things throughout the course of spring practice and obviously throughout the course of camp where our receivers had to get physical. Put them in a box drill where they had to line up and collision with the defensive backs. Our boiler drill. We've done it often throughout the course of spring and a handful of times in camp. And as a result, our receivers have become more physical. Even our smaller receivers have a lot more fight about them. So I'm not worried so much about necessarily getting the biggest guys on the field to give us a chance to block. I think all of our receivers will block right now. I think Antavian's got a lot of fight about him. I think they've all done a good job working hard on the perimeter. And we can always put our tight ends in the game and flex them out if we have to have big blockers on the perimeter, or even our backs, for that matter. But I think all of our receivers have done a good job of increasing their physicality, much more physical. Still have a long ways to go, and we better have some fight about us because we're not very big out on the perimeter, so they better have some fight about them.